The online world is something that can give you freedom of time, location, money, and allow you to do really whatever you want to do. But the issue is finding the opportunities to even jump in, to learn how to grow or scale within this industry. And it's not because it's a difficult thing to do, right? It's actually relatively easy. It's just because people don't understand how to find those opportunities. Now, whether it's UGC, paid traffic, management, operations, AI, any of these things and even more, there are endless opportunities in the online space. And unlike the normal job market where someone with a master's degree or even a PhD will struggle to find work. In the next minute, I'm going to break down the 3 steps on how to make money online. Following that, I will expand on finding the easiest point of entries to actually start making money. First is being skill, right? You need to pick a skill, whether that's UGC, paid traffic, content management, AI, or any other service that interests you. Whatever it may be, you need to pick a skill. Number 2 is distribution, or how you'll actually reach people with that skill. The only reason you're not making money right now is because nobody knows who you even are. So whether it's DM, outreach, cold, warm, outbound, inbound, ads, whatever it may be, how can people find you? Now, number 3 is your offer. Now, outline a clear problem, right? Have a clear result and have a clear price. In other words, how are you going to frame your service so that people actually pay you? Now, in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly why I am not retarded when it comes to the online space and why you might be. Years ago, I started my first online business and I dropped out of college because of it. I quit all of my jobs and I just dove in head first. Now, I've probably failed more times than you guys have even tried. Now, for proof that I could do it over and over and over again, I've mentored people who just got out of college, or maybe they're in college, from $0 to $20,000 a month across all types of niches, whether it's closing, whether it's AI, whether it's paid traffic, any other marketing agency service. I have done it. And the roadmap is very, very simple. Now, personally, I have managed millions in ad spend. I've helped scale 7, 8, even 9-figure brands, some of the biggest info products that you've seen nowadays. I've actually exited one of my companies and I'm building more right now to do just that again. Now, in regards to other areas in the online space, I've managed influencers collectively getting over billions of views, getting them sponsorships with big brands like Target, Qdoba, Cash App, Dollar Shave Club, you name it, all types of brands. I've personally collected, when I was a closer, over $500,000 cash. I used to be a setter, exact same thing. I've done almost every single position you can possibly think of in the online space, which gives me the grounds on what I'm about to speak on. So before you watch this video, just clear your mind, empty it, get ready to learn a ton, and see how you can actually enter the online space. If you're the type of person where you just want to skip to the end and start making $5K a month as quickly as possible, just click the link below and book a call to apply to work with me, and we'll see if you're a good fit. Now, I'm going to go over in this video how money is actually made online. Right now, just like you heard in my little speech there, I've done UGC, content management, paid traffic, sales setting, operations, AI, you name it, and I've done very successful things in every single one of those divisions. Now, because I think this is super corny, but for some reason, you guys just love to see screenshots, so I'm going to show you guys screenshots. $50,000 days, $60,000 days, we've done $400,000 months, we've done millions of dollars, we've done managing content creators, 80 million views in a single month, that's 30 days reach. We've done a lot more than that collectively. Anyways, I want to go over really how you don't need followers, you don't need funding, and you don't need the world's best network to get started in this online space. You really don't need anything, right? All you need is Wi-Fi, computer, and half a brain. So now let's get into how money is actually made online. The first thing is skill, just like I mentioned before. Now this skill can be paid traffic. It can be something to do with content or UGC being user-generated content. It could be sales. It could be building systems. It could be building automations and AI. Whatever service intrigues you, website design, whatever it may be, you can just run with it, right? Pick it, figure out if you like it, etc. Now, once you have a service, the next bottleneck is distribution, right? So how are people actually going to see your service, you? How are they going to know about you? This is just basic marketing. When we're thinking of distribution, it's ads, it's DM, it's outreach, either cold or warm. It could be UGC. It could really be anything. How are you going to throw your content out there to the people? How are people going to learn about your service? And how are people going to learn about your product? Now, next is your offer, right? How are you going to package everything together? So you need to solve a clear problem. You need to have a clear result, and you need to have a clear price, right? The bigger problems you solve, the more money you're going to make ultimately. This is just some basic business knowledge that I'm sure all of you guys have heard from a Hormozy tweet. So today I'm going to go over specifically paid traffic. It's what I've made the most money doing. It's what I've made the most money for other people doing. And it's just what I've spent the most time doing, especially nowadays. So what actually is paid traffic and how will it make me make money, right? Now think of paid traffic as digital real estate, right? Or like a digital billboard. People see, as you're driving along the highway, you're going to see billboards all over the place, right? Especially in the city. People pay for that real estate. Now, just like that, on the online space, people are paying for placements, whether it's Meta, Google, Snapchat, TikTok. You see advertisements flood the online space. That is considered digital real estate, right? And when you're buying media, you're buying that digital real estate. Paid traffic, right? When you think of a basic funnel, typically you have your ad, then you have your landing page, then you have, it could be a DM or a call or any type of outreach to interact with that lead, and then you collect the cash, right? This is called a basic sales funnel, paid traffic conversion funnel, if you will. Why is this the easiest skill to start with? A, because it's super, super data oriented, right? It's very ROI focused. The term we use is ROAS, right? So ROAS, return on ad spend. So how many dollars do I put in? How many dollars do I get out? It's very data oriented. So when you're really researching and growing this skill, you can understand down to the smallest level why a campaign is working or why a campaign is absolutely not. And that's the kind of cool part about it, because there's a lot of problem solving, right? Now, another thing is fast feedback. The good thing about ad campaigns, right, is that when you're spending $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 a day even, right, you're going to understand pretty quickly if your offer is good or your offer is terrible, right? It's going to give you fast feedback. So another one, low barrier, right? Anyone can do it. There's still endless companies that need paid traffic, right? Or need to jump into that space, whether it's brick and mortar, online company. How can you use something like paid traffic to actually make money? And in this case, how can you use it to make $5,000 extremely fast? So what I would do, I would run ads for small businesses, right? You're focusing on generating these small leads for local traffic, which is honestly one of the easiest things to do, right? Now, this could be storage businesses, this could be med spas, this could be your local contractors, this could be any type of business, right? And a lot of the times you have relationships with these business owners in your community. So if you know anyone in your community, you could say, hey, listen, I wanna learn this skill. I'm gonna do it for free, and I would love to help you out, and I'd love to see if you'd allow me to help you out for free. Or if you already have experience, you can have it paid, but sell that service and sell that offer. Use ads also to promote that offer. Back to distribution, can do it any type of way. You can do cold outreach on DM, you can do cold outreach on email, you could do inbound leads from ads, you could do inbound leads a million different types of ways, right? So run ads for small businesses. You can sell your own service, obviously. You can automate with AI. You can combine ads with AI tools. It makes it a lot easier overall just to get lead flow in, especially if you're offering workflows and a lot of back-end structures to your service. A lot of people need that, right? Now, 4, it's very simple client math. So when you're calculating revenue, essentially you're looking at the ROAS of your ad campaign. So if someone were to put in $1,000 to their ad campaign and they close a client that's worth $5,000, then you're calculating a 5x ROAS, right? When you're actually looking at your ROAS, when you're calculating it for a client, you can understand how valuable you are to that client. So if you're making them 30, 40, 50 grand a month, why wouldn't they give you 5,000 a month? Why wouldn't they give you even 2,500, for example, or even more, right? How valuable are you? There's also a lot of data like we discussed. So you can show clients tangible results, right? You can quantify every single thing that you're doing in an ad campaign to make sure that they can understand the value of it. So that's another very important thing as well. And for example, it's super simple client math. If you have 2 clients, 2,500 per month, you already have 5K revenue, right? Just 2 clients. Now, how do you even start? This is the issue, right? For a lot of people. Now, there's 2 things that you have. You either have testimonials or you do not have testimonials. Now, what do you do if you do not have testimonials? Like I said earlier, free work. You can cold outreach to small businesses near you or friends or family, whatever it may be, right? Visit storefronts. You can ask your friends and fam, see if they know anybody, see if they're business owners that maybe you could do free work for and just get testimonials. Now, what do you do if you have testimonials, right? Now, if you have testimonials, that is leverage. Right? It's all about position. So take your testimonials, take your case studies, and make sure that they're reflecting your work. And for example, you could just have screenshots of any type of win. I know this one was for a coaching offer, I believe, and then a few of these were for, Windows solutions and kind of all over the place, right? Paid traffic can be used for anything. And now when you're looking at case studies, the way you want to formulate them is in 3 steps, right? So problem, process, result. What is the problem that they faced? What is the process that you took them through? And what is the result that process created, right? This way people can understand the story behind it, right? They can understand your thought process. They can see why things are working. They can see why things are working with you, what your mindset is. It's very important for a lot of clients, right? To see how you actually operate. Now, after you have your case studies, proof is very important, right? Now you can turn your proof into your offer. So now we'll go over in other videos, but it's essentially my thesis on building offers, right? It's the 3C method. It's clarity, credibility, and certainty, right? So clarity, how clear is your offer, right? Proof, all of your testimonials, credibility, right? And then certainty or perceived value, right? So what makes your offer stand out? What makes people want to pay for that type of offer, right? Make sense? Now, when we're looking at formulating offers, here is an example. We will get you 15 plus close high-paying clients in the next 90 days or you don't pay, right? Plus an extra 5,000 wired to your account as an apology. For online businesses hitting 6 figures plus in revenue only. The offer is going to matter a lot more than tactics. So your offer should have one sentence, right? One sentence just like this where it shows who, what, essentially, and how long, and risk reversal, right? So who are you targeting? Online businesses. What are you going to do for them? Close 15 high-paying clients. When? In 90 days. Risk reversal or you don't pay, right? The offer matters a lot more than any tactic that you could run, right? So one sentence is all you need, right? It's going to offer clarity. Number 2, show proof, right? Credibility, even free work results. It doesn't matter. Results are results, whether it was free work or paid work, big client, small client, doesn't matter. Make it feel like a no-brainer. This is the perceived value. This is the certainty. How can you make someone so certain in your service or so certain in your product that they are going to pay you a lot of money to do it and consistently? How do you even get started with this? How do you get started building your online business? What are the tools needed for an online business? What do you actually need to operate an online business? These are so many questions that a lot of people ask, and it's simple to find the answers, but you can get lost very easily. There's a lot of clutter, right? For example, the only tools you really need is a CRM and some form of AI, at least in this time, right? So CRM, what I always recommend is go high level. A lot of people use ClickFunnels too. I think ClickFunnels is great, but I just think go high level has more tools and it's a lot more centralized, right? Where you could do your automations, you could do your contacts, your marketing, you could do your funnels, whatever you need. Go high level, I think, is the best. And for AI, it could be ChatGPT, right? Just help you streamline operations. Now, here's an example of go high level. Now, this is just an example dashboard, right? You're able to see in your pipeline, for example, new lead, call scheduled, this is a no-show, call completed, warm up, warm follow-up, long-term follow-up, whatever it may be. You can understand your conversion rates. You can see your stage distributions. You can see your total dashboard of open, lost, and abandoned leads, anything you could ever need, right? Now, this is, for example, what you see here. This is the opportunity section, right? Or this is where your pipeline is. So you can see where all these leads come in. They'll actually populate right over here. So number 1, get familiar with the software, right? So typically what we do is as your team grows, use Asana for project management. We also use Zoom. I know some people use Google Meets, but I don't think that really matters. It's based on preference. We use Slack for client management and comms, and high level for the CRM. All these integrate super smoothly, and I think it's one of the best ecosystems that I've seen. Now, step number 2, you want to build out your operations, your front end, your back end, whatever it may be. So your front end is considered, for example, your landing page, what the other person sees, what the prospect sees. So this could be your website, this could be your ads, this could be creatives, organics, whatever it may be. This is your front end. So make sure you have a solid front end. Make sure your logo looks nice. Make sure that your landing page, your website looks nice. Make sure that there's no typos. Just make sure that everything makes sense. Make sure that it's easily readable, right? Make sure that it's easily understood what you do, why you do it, who you are. Next is your operations too. Make sure that your team is dialed in. And if it's just you, for example, make sure that you have systems in place to get a little consistency, right? Every client shouldn't be a new demon, right? Every single client should go through a similar process when it's from onboarding to actually maintaining the client communication and all the way to just, down the line of fulfillment. Everything should be pretty dialed in, and things will change, right? That's completely okay. Things will always change, but just make sure that you have some sort of system that you can at least adjust, right? And start from. And then also your back end, right? Make sure your automations, your workflows, make sure everything is all set. Go high level has a lot of good templates too, especially if you're just starting out. You can always look on YouTube too, workflows for me to use. I always suggest basic appointment confirmations, lead nurtures, no-show nurtures, a lot of the stuff that are really going to continuously reach out to leads automatically. And when I'm looking at workflows, I'm also looking at different tags, right? You want your CRM to be organized. So when someone moves from one stage to the other in their pipeline, they should be tagged, right? They should be sourced as well. Which closer did they come from? Did you close? Did they come from Google? Did they come from Instagram? Did they come from TikTok? It's very important to organize your CRM and make sure everything is tagged properly, make sure everything is sourced properly too, because the more organized you are, the easier it's going to be to scale your business. Now, number 3, make sure you have a really solid outreach method. So I always suggest pick one in the beginning, really master that form of outreach, and then start to branch out. Especially when you're just starting out, you don't want to be overwhelmed, and you also don't want to be unorganized. And you have to understand that email is a different beast than organic Instagram, which is a different beast than organic TikTok, which is a different beast from paid TikTok, right? All of these channels of outreach are all extremely different, especially if you're doing DM or email or cold calling, whatever it may be. All the scripts are different, all of the techniques are different, and so trying to master all of those at once is going to be extremely confusing and overwhelming. So I would suggest picking one, and typically if you're just starting out, I would try something organic, right? And I would try not only posting organic content, but also picking a platform to do some outbound DMs on. So I would say Instagram is a great place to start. Meta is always really good. Reels get pushed out there pretty quickly, especially if it's a new account and it's good content. I also think DM outreach is still very effective. There's a ton of different ways that you can research that on YouTube as well. There's a ton of good scripts out there too. When you're looking at your outreach method as well, it's very hard in the beginning to have warm leads, right? Unless it's your friends, family, etc. A lot of times you're going to be dealing with cold leads, and usually they're outbound, right? Because you don't have a lot of inbound traffic unless your organic is doing super well. Now, next, once you have distribution finalized, your outreach is good, now it's time to pitch clients, right? So this is when you have to start learning your skills and start learning really how to close. Now, what do you actually do after you close these clients, right? So when you're learning to close clients, you're going to realize in the beginning that it's super tough. And a lot of this goes back to your MQLs, right? So there's MQLs and SQLs. MQLs are your marketing qualified leads, and your SQLs are your sales qualified leads. When you're pitching your clients, you want to make sure that you always structure your MQLs properly, because then the close is going to be a lot easier. You don't want things to be a bait and switch. If someone, swipes up on an ad, they reach out and it's just not the same offer that they're getting sold to on the call, they might be frustrated, right? So when you're setting your MQLs, you want to make sure that you understand. It's very important what type of questions you ask. It's very important how you position your offer, and it's extremely important how you actually handle your advertisements, your descriptions, your captions, whatever it may be, because you want to make sure it all aligns, right? And if it does all align and it makes sense and it's all positioned correctly, by the time they actually book a call, they'll be a lot more informed about your offer, about what you do, about what your business is, etc. And this is consistent across every single channel of distribution, right? You don't want your ads to be different than your DMs, to be different than your emails. You kind of want it all to be synchronized, right? Now, after you close, right? So you have your online business, you have your service, you have your distribution, you're starting to close clients. Now, what do you do after you close? This is when things really start to get messy for some people starting out, because they mastered closing, but they have no clue how to fulfill, right? You have all these clients now. How do you actually get the results to keep them? Because I would argue it's much better to have 2 clients paying you $2,500 to $5,000 a month each than to having to constantly find new clients, right? LTV makes a business at the end of the day. If you have strong LTV and you have customers and clients always coming back and staying with you, that's business. If you don't have strong LTV and there's constant churn and your stick rate is super low, then you should consider a new industry, because that hustle will never end. You'll probably just end up in a hole or burnt out. Now, this is when you iron out fulfillment and ops. This is very important, going back to those softwares, to make sure that you're really familiar with how they work, what the systems are with them, and what actually makes for a good client experience. When I think of LTV, it's constantly updating the client and the customer experience. How can you make them feel heard, make them feel valued? How can you make them feel like they're getting the most out of what they paid for? That comes with constantly researching updates for media buying. Let's say Google makes a change or Facebook makes a change to their ads manager. Maybe they got rid of some sort of interest or demographic targeting. That could be a big issue, especially when you're media buying, right? So constant app updates, even iOS updates, can affect the industry in a very large scale. So staying ahead of the news, staying ahead of the updates, staying ahead of everything that's going on is extremely important. And always try to improve campaigns. You need to market research. You need to make sure that you understand your client's product, understand their competitors' products, why their competitors are doing well or why they're doing bad, so you can continuously adjust your campaigns to get the best results. At the end of the day, you obviously want to get results. And when you do, that's when you have more case studies, right? You want to build case studies, you want to build the testimonials, and that's just going to improve the sales process. The more testimonials and case studies you have, the easier the sales process is going to be overall, and the quicker your business is going to grow and scale. Proof of concept sells at the end of the day. Just like I was going over, media buying, I think, is one of the easiest points of entry into the online space, and it's actually very, very straightforward. So like we just went over, let's pick your skill, which would be media buying, figure out how you're going to distribute it. I would say go to local businesses, reach out to people that you know, try to find at least 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 different people that allow you to do your service for free, especially if you don't have any testimonials. And once you're able to do those for free, you get a few case studies. Now you can start building your offer and your sales process, right? So when you're thinking of your results, what did you do good? What did you do bad? What was the pure value that that person saw, right? Feedback is very important. Ask them for feedback. Ask your testimonials for feedback. What could you have done better? Where did they see the value? Take that value they saw and then use that to create your offer. So now once you have an offer, you need to iron out your sales skills. Once you iron out your sales skills, you need to really focus on client fulfillment. Thank you for watching. Now, if you did find a ton of value from this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm going to be back every single week with some new sauce. So really excited to share that with you guys. And if you did want to learn how to make an extra $5K a month, 2-year additional income, or even make it your full income, I'd love to see if we're able to help you. Just book a call with the link below and apply to work with us, and we'll see if you're a good fit. Again, thank you. Cheers. See you next week.